Hello everybody. So we're doing a little video here on something I've knocked up. This is just a thing that's commonly known as a smudge pot, but it can run on anything that's oil. At the moment we've got this thing running on normal road diesel, which has had a black colouring added to it, so we know not to use it in our cars. And there's a way out you can start these things, and it can be a pain in the ass to do, but the way out we're going to start it is we're going to mix a bit of, this is, looks like piss, but it's not, it's actually petrol that's been contaminated with diesel. So there's a lot of petrol in that, not much diesel in it. And we're going to use that to start it with. And we'll just nicely pour that in there, making sure we spill as much as we can down the front. Just because it makes it nice and easy to light it. Like that, up to daisy. Oh dear me, I'm clumsy as well. And if you would kindly ignite that for me. It may go with a bit of a woof, but it'll work. Well, not bad this time. There we go. And that should start getting hot enough to start. Oh. Well, guess we need to add the heat to it. Yeah, just heat the bottom. Slowly. This has been filled up with a lot of oil, diesel, sorry. Almost to the halfway mark inside there. So it's kind of got to heat that oil up first before it starts vaporising, which can take a while, but it does get there eventually.
A little recirculator would help.
That's what it needs, yeah. You could do with a little flame recirculator on it. So it can suck some of these flames down into the bottom again. That looks like it's got it.
Yeah, once it starts doing that, we're good.
It's still in the process of heating up, of course. Should recache again, there you go. And we'll keep doing that until it gets nice and warm. But yeah, this little thing, as you can see, I built it out of an old balloon helium tank, which I just cut a hole in the bottom. This is just some very nice cheap flue, which I actually got from a scrapyard. One section of it was crushed, so I just sawn it off. I'll give you a bit of a pan up and down, so what it looks like. It's a little bit smoky, but that's because it is still on the heating up process. My handmade tripod doing its good job here. Oops, is that as high as a tripod can go? It looks like it. And there you go, that's the smoke level output. It's not horrific. You think burning oil would be quite bad, but it's not bad at all. Diesel, sorry, diesel. Put a bit of a heat reflector on it, try and put the heat into this little thing that we're going to start concreting on. And that will probably run quite happily for a good 3 to 4 hours, I would say.
really getting going now.
It's really getting going there. If you really want to make things a bit more happy, what you do is you put a blower fan on it. I don't know if you want to demonstrate that.
Let it warm up a little more first. And
Yeah?
yeah, what you want, really powerful blower fan like that there.
A little delta brushless fan.
6 amps at 12 volts. You can see how small that is.
Tiny but mighty. And what you do is, I still need to add a bit of a receptacle to this, but this is just for demonstration purposes, of course. We just literally add the air to one of these 3 holes that I drilled into this thing, and then put it on a little power supply, the fan, blow the fan into one of the holes, and you'll see what it does.
Alright, let's have a look.
Chickens are all upset because they've got to be undercover because of avian flu. So here you go, this is the fan starting up. Quite powerful. You blow it into one of the holes. As you can see now, we've actually got it glowing now. So quite fun.
I think it's still warming a bit.
Yeah.
There's quite a lot of fuel in the box to warm up.
If any of you are worried about fire safety, we have got a little fire extinguisher there, which is currently being used as a doorstop.
Don't put one of these out with water.
Yeah, and if one of these ever does go out of control, which is highly unlikely, because you control it by adding holes, or if you really want to, what you can do, if you want it to run a little more smooth, you can find a well-placed stone and just sit it over one of these holes here, and that will calm it down considerably, as you can see. So a very good way of controlling the amount of airflow going into it, because obviously the amount of airflow determines how good that will go. That is concrete that's wet, so it might explode. So just be careful using chunks of concrete.
See how clean it burns.
So you can see how well that's just come up again. And in terms of how clean they burn, don't think that's half that bad, really.
Better with a fan on it.
Better with a fan on it. Like any diesel engine, the more air you bang into them, the better they run, the more efficient they run. Look at that. Knock the stone off, and it goes like hell now. Quite impressive. Nice and simple design. Doesn't take much creation, much building. If I can make one, anyone can make one. If you know how to do a bit of welding, or hell, even just opening that flue out a bit and then screwing it in, that'll work. It's not got to be airtight. And the more holes you bang into the flue, the better you get your burn. Of course, keep in mind that inside here, all you're doing inside that is creating heat to vaporise the totally road-used diesel, heavily taxed road diesel, and that vaporises. The vapours then come up into the flue, and where the air injects in, that's where it continues to combust. It's a bit like having an afterburner almost. It works quite well, as you can see. And obviously you can have a bit of aluminium on there just to help it reflect the heating, and that works incredibly well doing that. And as you can see, the pipe is actually glowing. Just about here, look, we've got a glowing pipe, and the heat coming off that is extortionate. Look at that glow we've got going there. Look. Absolutely beautiful. Screw your gas-powered patio heaters, this thing works 100 times better.
Obviously, if you want it to burn more fiercely without a fan, put a longer flue on it.
Yeah, longer flue, more draw. If I had more flue, I'd chuck it on, but I haven't got any more, sadly.
Best thing you could do here is have more of these reflecting the heat back at you.
Yeah.
Or if you had it in an enclosed space, which we don't recommend, but you know, you could have a fan blowing at this, blowing that heat off of it.
And more reflectors to the flue.
Crazy the difference that makes.
It is. There we go. Not sure, the wind may catch that, and as you see, look, the flame's gone out inside, but just watch, it'll catch again. Yeah. It will catch. They always do. There you go.
Let's give it a bit more of this.
Oh, he's gonna chuck some more air in it. Look, I'll just pan up a second just to show you the reflector we've put on it there. It's just a dead simple reflector. Oh, we're going to lose the reflector. Oh well. That's a bit warm.
Good stuff.
Maybe that fan is a little bit over the top, but
No such thing.
no such thing. I mean, you should see what happens with these things when you chuck an air compressor into that bottom fan. That does make things go interesting, but of course I totally recommend you do it if you can and you're out in the middle of nowhere. Just be careful, because you do get a lot of flames and your neighbours will not be happy with you. Oh, our flue fell down. Not our flue, our reflector. Wow, the difference in heat
Yeah.
when that disappears. Yeah,
Still quite pleasant.
still quite pleasant. But yes, there you go. I hope you've enjoyed this. What's that, 15-minute video? Oh, sorry about that. But yes, if you can make one of these, make one. If you know someone who can make you one of these, ask them to make you one. The plans are nice and easy. Literally a bottle, all sealed, with a hole in the top, big hole for your flue, small hole, you only really want one small hole in the side, but big enough, just a bit smaller than the flue hole. So that's a 6-inch flue on that, and your flue hole could really do with being about 3-inch. Sorry, your hole in the side could really do be about a 3-inch hole, and that should be quite adequate. Really, that would work quite well. Cut some triangular shapes into the flue, as you can see. Push them in so the triangles are pointing upwards. That creates a nice bit of turbulence, mixes all the gases and all the fresh air coming in. You get a secondary fire appear up here in your flue. That creates the lovely glowing patch you just saw. And obviously as the updraft pulls the air, the hot air comes up, it drags more air into itself and the whole cycle continues on. Pretty much just like a diesel engine in a car. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this interesting. Alright now, just as a side note everyone, that if you decide to spray paint this thing while it's running, I'm going to show you this. This is what happens. Oh. Oh dear. Well, I guess we have to wait for it to get cold.